Well, the Black Business Council and Ubank have set up a R1 billion township and rural economy fund. Now, it aims to develop township and rural market solutions for black-owned companies. The organization says funding will be available at Ubank branches. Let's discuss how this will work now with Ubank's Luthando Vutula. Luthando, a very good morning to you. So I suppose the big question is, yes, everybody's going to want a piece of this R1 billion pie. But before we get to how that works, just give us an idea of the thinking behind this. What is it meant to do? Who are you meant to help?
Good morning, Uveka, and thank you very much for having us. I think you just earlier on mentioned the fact that between, I think in Gauteng alone, there's an estimate of between 900 and 2 million jobs to be lost. Now, our view is that we need to support small businesses because job creation is actually going to be coming from small businesses. Hence, us believing that we need to support small businesses in townships and small businesses in the rural area because that's where job creation is actually going to be coming from.
So give us an idea, just an example. When you say small township business, I'm sure many of us know what it is, but just so we're clear as to who would be able to apply for something like this.
Well, you know, I mean, in the townships you would find spaza shops, you would find hair salon.
Luthando, what?
Find small.
Sorry. We lost you there for a minute. We just lost you on the line. Yes, you were talking about spaza shops, hair salons?
Hair salons, retailers, small retailers, you know, the general dealers, hardware stores. And yes, those are really the stores. I mean, those are the entrepreneurs. And also you'd find that there's a lot of innovation in terms of ICT that's also happening in the townships. So we want to nurture that talent. We want to support that talent because township economies are actually quite big. You know, these are huge opportunities and we think that we need to support that.
So what would be the criteria? What would they need to be telling you about their business to qualify for help from you?
Well, first of all, I mean, I think the business idea is going to be very important. How, where, and also to make sure how are they going to manage it. And more importantly, you know, how are they going to repay the money? Because, as you said, these are loans, but obviously we'll take into account the current COVID impact and challenges, and so that we are able to tailor-make solutions for these small businesses. We are obviously working with the Black Business Council. In fact, we've got a meeting today where we will be finalizing the final details around the criteria, who qualifies, how the application process is going to work. We've already identified the sectors. So we believe that, look, this is an exciting time, even though it's got lots of challenges. But in terms of small business, I think going forward, we believe that to kickstart the economy or restart the economy, small businesses are actually going to play an important role, in particular in the townships and rural areas.
And I think you're going to be seeing more of them sprouting up with more people being laid off and having to make a plan, start their own businesses. So would this be for just new businesses or would it be for existing businesses that might be battling in this time?
Yeah, well, this is part of the conversation we want to have with BBC in terms of where the focus is going to be. Now, Uveka, you would also know that there's been a number of funds that have been set up in the last month or so, and the take-up has just been phenomenal. So we are also saying, look, whilst we're putting in, we are saying, look, it's going to be R1 billion. What the BBC has also committed to do is to match our rand by going out and lobbying with the government or other institutions to match this billion with another billion. So hopefully we'll have a 2 billion fund, you know, that we can make available for small businesses. And we do understand that it's not going to be enough for everybody, but we also believe that it will definitely make an impact.
Yeah, and unfortunately, a billion can't get you as much as it would have maybe 10 years ago. That's the problem there, Luthando. So you did mention that these are loans. So what would be the sort of conditions when it comes to these loans? Obviously, you know, you want these companies not to have to suffer to pay it back to you. So what measures have you put in place for that?
Well, I mean, I think, as we said, I mean, first of all, the sector that we are going to be supporting, I think also we will obviously do a proper DD on the business itself and how they think they can repay it. But more importantly, it's going to be how we tailor-make the solution to the business. For example, do we have to start with some payment holidays before, or do we have to have a staggered interest? I mean, there's lots of options that we can look at. from a solutioning. Now I'm talking about the financing part. And this is what we need to make sure that we get right, so that at the end of the day, we don't put the entrepreneur under pressure right at the beginning, during COVID, and immediately just after COVID, because we do understand that everything during this time, whether it's sales or repayments, everything seems to be really down. So we need to really we really need to tailor-make a solution for the entrepreneurs.
All right.
And these discussions and conversations we're definitely having with the BBC today.
All right, great. And we look forward to some feedback from that. Very quick idea then as to where people can find more information on how to apply for this or how this will work.
Yes, we're setting up a web page, but as I said, we will have that up as soon as we finalize the details.
All right, thanks very much for that. And there's some help out there, everybody trying to do their bit to help. And this one, very important, township and rural economy, definitely could use the money. Lutando Vutula from Ubank.